Alright, here are 14 practice problems on modifiers. I have put the links to both these questions as well as the answer key in the description. But if you ever get stuck, you can always refer back to this video because I will be going through all of these questions. Now, the first thing you want to do when you get these types of questions is to identify what the modifier is. Most of the time, if not always, it's going to be the phrase before the comma because modifiers need to be set off by a comma. In this question, it's going to be despite being cheap, versatile, and easy to produce. Now, once we have identified our modifier, we can ignore the rest of the sentence. So all this mumbo jumbo right here doesn't even matter. The important thing to remember with these modifiers is that they affect the very first verb that follows it. I meant to say noun. The very first noun that follows it. So as we go through these answer choices, we're going to ask ourselves, is the very first noun cheap, versatile, and easy to produce? So let's get started. A. There, that's our first noun. So is there cheap, versatile, and easy to produce? That doesn't make sense. So it's not going to be A. B. Two problems is our first noun. So are two problems cheap, versatile, and easy to produce? Once again, it doesn't really make sense. So it's probably not going to be B. C. Commercial plastics, two associated problems. That's our first noun. Are commercial plastics, two associated problems cheap, versatile, and easy to produce? Once again, it doesn't make sense. So we know our answer is going to be D, but let's just check it out. Commercial plastics. That's our first noun. So let's check. Are commercial plastics cheap, versatile, and easy to produce? And yes, this one does make sense. So our answer will be D. Question number 2. Let's find what the modifier is. And looking at this, well, we can just really look at the blank and then before the comma, everything before that probably going to be the modifier. And in this case, that is the case. So our modifier is going to be after pleading for years to no effect for the passage of key anti-discrimination legislation. So now we're going to ask ourselves, who are the ones pleading for the passage of legislation? Let's go through our answer choices. A. Pressure. Alright, I don't think pressure is going to be pleading, so no. B. A sit-in protest. Wow, so the protest itself is pleading. Yeah, I don't think that's happening either. C. Lawmakers. Lawmakers don't need to plead for the passage of laws, bro. Like, they're the ones making the laws. So, it's not gonna be lawmakers. And then D. Activists. And yes, activists would be doing that. So, our answer will be D. Question number 3. Let's find what the modifier is. And we have our blank right here. And looking before the comma, it's gonna be based on events that occurred when Ravenel was a city-state ruled by a king. So we're going to be asking ourselves, what was based on events? Let's go through our answer choices. Ravenel, okay, I'm just gonna butcher everything here. Ravenel Aki tells the story of Kicheyachi, a military leader who. So it looks like this Ravenel Aki thingy tells the story of something, and a story would be based on events, so that would make sense, and A is going to be our answer. Let's keep going though. Kicheyachi, the military leader in the story of Ravenel Aki. So Kicheyachi, this is a person, and a person isn't based on events. So it's not going to be B. C, the military leader. So this is going to be the exact same thing as B. So that's not going to be our answer. And then D, there. There is not based on events. So it's not going to be D either. Our answer is going to be A. Now, if you didn't know that Ravenel Aki tells the story of something, then we could always go back to the text for context. And here it does say Ravenel Aki is a dance. So, I keep saying skip the text, but maybe you should go back to the text sometimes if you need clarification on context. Anyways, the answer is A. Question number 4. Let's see what the modifier is. Here's our blank. Here's a comma. Everything before. So, in assessing the films of Japanese director Akira Kurosawa, that is going to be our modifier. So let's ask ourselves, who is assessing the films of this director? So who's assessing films? Let's go through our answer choices. Many critics. That would make sense. Many critics would be assessing films. A is going to be our answer. Let's keep going though. Kurosawa's use of Western literary sources. Western literary sources, are they assessing films? No, so B is not going to be the answer. C, there. No again, just no. And then D, the focus of many critics. So is the focus going to be assessing films? No, it's going to be the critics themselves. So our answer is going to be A. Question number 5. Let's see what our modifier is. Here's our blank. Here's a comma. So it's going to be fortifying soil in arid ecosystems against erosion. So let's ask ourselves, who or what is fortifying soil? Let's look at A. A recent study. Yep, study is definitely not fortifying soil. So no. B. An estimated 60% reduction. Yep, that 60% reduction is definitely fortifying that soil. And then C. These crusts. Okay, crust could be fortifying soil. And then D. A recent study again. So our answer is gonna be C. This is also this is also gonna be one of those where you should probably read the actual question and get the context, because here it does say that biocrusts are thin layers of soil. So yeah, but I mean, like, it's pretty obvious that a study and a reduction isn't fortifying soil, so you could get away without reading it too. Regardless, the answer is gonna be C. Question number 6. Let's find what our modifier is. So here's our blank and here's a comma, so everything before. However, since uncovering fragments of a 2,000-year-old reindeer training harness in northern Siberia. So we're gonna be asking, who was uncovering fragments of this training harness, whatever. Let's look at our answer choices. First, we have researcher Robert Losey. A researcher would be uncovering fragments, so that does make sense. B. Researcher Robert Losey's argument. Now, the researcher, yeah, but his argument is probably not uncovering fragments, so no. Domestication. Yeah, domestication is definitely not uncovering fragments. And then once again, we have the argument. That's not uncovering no fragments. So the answer is A, the researcher. Question number 7. Let's see what a modifier is. So here's our blank, here's the comma, and let's look at everything before. So named as, I'm not reading right. Named in 1999 as one of the greatest achievements by a US chemist in the past 100 years. That is going to be our modifier. So as we go through our answer choices, we're going to be asking what was named as one of the greatest achievements. So A, Julian. Alright, some random guy was named as one of the greatest achievements. That sounds alright. B, in 1935. So the year 1935 was one of the greatest achievements by a chemist. Yep, I think that chemist came up with the year 1935. C, Julian's 1935 synthesis of the alkaloid. Yep. So the actual synthesis, that could be an achievement. That could be a great achievement. And then D, the alkaloid physo whatever. Now, the synthesis of it, yes, that would be an achievement, because he's the one that synthesized it. But the thingy itself, no, because this one's probably like nature or something. It's probably like naturally occurred now, so that wouldn't be an achievement. But the synthesis of it, yes. So our answer will be C. Question number 8. Let's see what a modifier is. Here's our blank, here's the comma, so everything before. And it's gonna be far from being modern inventions. That's our modifier. So as we go through our answer choices, we're going to be asking, what was far from being a modern invention? Let's look at it. Sumerians in ancient Mesopotamia. Alright, so Sumerians, the people? Yeah, people are not inventions. So unless it's a simulation, nope, I'm not going to do that. Okay, not people, so not A. B, drinking straws. Yep, that could be like ancient invention. B. C. The use of drinking straws. Now, the drinking straws themselves, sure. But the use of it, no. So, not gonna be C. And then D. Ancient Mesopotamia. So, the actual place itself is not an invention either. So, it's not gonna be D. And our answer will be B. Question number 9. Let's see what the modifier is. So, here's our blank and everything before it. So, our modifier will be a coming of age story, a social meditation, and a sober gaze into the dark maw of French colonialism. So as we go through these answer choices, we're going to be asking ourselves, what is a coming of age story? A. Morocco. Yeah, Morocco is not a coming of age story. Probably not. B. Cryberry's. Oh, nope. Yep. Yeah, that guy's debut novel. Oh yeah, a novel is a story, so that would make sense. C. Oh yeah, that guy himself, he's not a story, so no, people are not stories. And then D. Published 2 years before Morocco gained its independence, Cryberry. Okay, I'm not even close. Wrote a debut novel that. So you'll notice here that there's no noun here, but instead, this is actually another modifier. So we have another modifier right here, and then the noun that it's affecting is Kaibiri. So it's basically saying that Kaibiri was published 2 years before Morocco gained its independence. So a person was published 2 years before a country gained. Yeah, a person cannot be published. So it's not D. The answer is B because it's talking about the novel, which is the story. Question number 10. Let's see what a modifier is. Here's our blank, and everything before the comma will be our modifier. So compared to that of alumina glass, we're going to be asking to ourselves, what is being compared to that of alumina glass? Let's look at A, silica glass. That could definitely be compared. Silica glass again. A significant disadvantage. A disadvantage is probably not being compared to that, so no. And then silica glass's atomic arrangement. That could also be compared. So this is what I get for skipping the rest of the sentence every single time, because now we do need to read the rest of the context. So let's continue reading the rest of the sentence. Silica glass atoms are so far apart that they are unable to reform bonds after being separated. So it's talking specifically about these silica glass atoms and that they're so far apart compared to alumina glass atoms. Not items, atoms. So our best answer choice here would be D, because it's talking specifically about its atomic arrangement and how the atoms are super far apart, compared to A and B, where it's just talking about the glass itself, but not its atoms. Question number 11. Let's see what a modifier is. Here is our blank. So everything before the comma is our modifier. Our modifier will be by reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers. We're going to be asking ourselves, what is reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers? Let's look at our answer choices. A. The mitigation of both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved by bioswales. Okay, so we're talking about the mitigation of street flooding and then pollution and then waterways and then bioswales. Like I don't even know I don't know which now it's supposed to be. I'm not gonna lie. There's just so many of them, so a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm not choosing A. B. The bioswales. Yep, that I mean makes sense. Bioswales have mitigated both street flooding. There you go. I mean, it's talking about what did it? The bioswales. C. The bioswales mitigation of both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways has been achieved. Alright, so this is the exact same thing as A, but they literally just flipped the sentence backwards. So once again, we have bioswales mitigation, and then we have street flooding and a whole bunch of other babbling. No. And then we have the both street flooding and the resulting pollution of nearby waterways. So now it's going to be saying that street flooding and the pollution is the ones reducing the runoff, and that's just not true. So our answer will be B. Question number 12. Let's see what our modifier is. Here is our blank. So everything before that comma. So it's going to be a nearly frictionless and, as its name suggests, extremely slippery state. So we're going to be asking ourselves, what is this nearly frictionless and slippery state? Looking at A, when their COF drops below 0.01. I don't think that's a state, so no. Two surfaces, that's also not frictionless, so no. Reaching superlubricity. Okay, if it was superlubricity by itself, sure, but reaching, that's not a frictionless state, so no. And then D, we have superlubricity by itself, and that is a frictionless and slippery state. So our answer will be D. Question number 13. Let's see what a modifier is. Here's our blank and here's the comma. So everything before is our modifier. Upon recovering 2 years later, that's our modifier. So we're going to be asking what or who recovered 2 years later. Let's look at A. Henry. Okay, this guy named Henry could definitely recover 2 years later. B. The rain. Alright, I don't think the rain is going to be recovering. The reign of Henry, so no. And then Henry's reign, same thing, just said differently, so also no. His reign is not going to be the one recovering. And then it is not recovering, so no again. Our answer will be A. Also, this is one of those questions where it would also probably be good to actually read the text, because I just read it and at the very beginning it just said that he fell gravely ill, and then it would make sense that he would later recover. Question number 14, finally the last one. Let's find our modifier. Here is the blank, and here's our comma, so everything before is going to be the modifier. A pioneer in the field of taphonomy, the study of how organic remains became or become fossils. So, as we go through our answer choices, we're going to be asking who is the pioneer in the field of taphonomy. I'm guessing that's how you say it. So, A, fossils. Alright, fossils are probably not a pioneer. Okay, fossils are not pioneers, so no. B, Anna. Okay, so some person is a pioneer. That would make sense. C, it. Alright, it by itself, probably not pioneer. And then D, a 2005 analysis. Alright, the analysis itself is probably not going to be a pioneer either. So our answer will be B. Alright, that was all 14 questions of modifiers. And this is another type of question that could come up on the punctuation part of the SAT, which would be question 16 to 21. Bye!